Listen, for this rehearsal, we'll allow this. After this rehearsal, we know what to do. Yes, please. There's just something. Yeah? Like, that's what we're going to do. So, graduation production 2022. Wow. This is like maybe my 5th year thereabouts in the driver's seat. Having done this before COVID, right through COVID, and here again, the very first one since after COVID, face to face. And the process is one that can be very hectic for both myself as director, for the choreographers, the musical director, and more so the students. It's very rigorous. It's very rigorous because we end up having very long rehearsals, sometimes until late into the night. And sometimes they really upset me, they really upset me like during the process. But we really have to go through a rehearsal process. And if we should look at how we gradually get to the product for where we are, there's an entire committee in place. So once we have come up with our theme and we know what the theme is, then we get to script, and from scripting we get into rehearsal process. But there are also several other things that happens behind the scene. You have the technical people who are working while the rehearsal is happening, the set is being built, costumes are being constructed. So all these different things are happening throughout the process. And so it was really rather tedious, and as the artistic director, having to put all the pieces together, you know, it's a little pressuring. So when you have to deal with these unruly children throughout the process during rehearsal, and then you have to be working with the other individuals who are part of the team in terms of your technical crew, etc. But they've been also very supportive, though them kind of drag them foot a little bit. You know, but the idea of doing the graduation as a production in this artistic institution, it's really a good idea. It gives the students, especially the first year students, their very first exposure in this space to the stage. But what is nice and critical about the graduation ceremony is that it's interdisciplinary, and I believe it's a model that we could look at to expand it in terms of the program. And interdisciplinary meaning it doesn't matter which discipline, whether it's visual arts, dance, music, drama, arts management, there's a space for everybody to learn, grow, learn production process, learn with each other, grow with each other. And so it's a very good model that immerses a student into a space in order for them to work through it.
So hi, my name is Dijane Davis, aka Jelly, and grad production was a wonderful experience for me. I'm from School of Arts Management, but you know, my first love is the theater, and you know, somebody have to come and represent the theater. It was a great experience. Miss Reed as a person stood out to me. She has like a lot of characteristics of my mother, which I really give thanks for, because I learned a lot of things in grad production about time management and just being there, even though, you know, if your friend not come, you have to come. So you know, for follow people and them something there. And it was just a wonderful experience. I meet a lot of persons. When I first got into audition, I was like, Jesus Christ, you know, me and them people are not gonna be friends. Cause me, I want me set one way and them set one way. But that was just in the past, you know, like I got some good friendships out of grad production, and it was just an amazing experience.
It was amazing, honestly, and sometimes I think back at it and I want to cry, because like I like you guys so much and I miss you guys so much. There were times when I didn't want to come to rehearsal, and I felt like the life was being sucked out of me every time I stepped into that room. But the next day I wanted to come back, and I think I made a lot of good friends here. And it was great working with Damani and Christoph. They were cool, and yeah, Great.
This particular process, one of the things that I did was that when I started working with the students, I recognized that having the large group and everybody trying to figure it out wasn't working. And so one of the approaches I adopted was to use a lot of pair work. Because what I realized after the first trial of the pair work was that they responded quite well. They created a number of things, and the characters that they built and developed out of those creative processes worked quite well. And so a number of the things that you saw, if you were able to see the graduation, and if you didn't see it, you can still go back and watch it, it's on YouTube. So a number of the things that came out of that, the students worked it out on their own, because when I put them in small groups and ask them to work on something and then they come back as a larger group to showcase what they would have created, they were able to create some fabulous pieces of work. And then what we did, we took those pieces and we merged them together to create what the larger piece of work would look like. And so we kind of did it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And so this kind of hands-on experience, it's really good for them because it gives them an opportunity to own the work. And that for me was good. To also watch them from the very start, when persons were very timid, didn't want to do, or persons didn't believe in themselves, to watch them grow to a place where after a while they want to do everything and they became a lot more confident. And then to see them on the day, it was really very heartening to see that kind of work. Yes, like I said, it's not easy, because sometimes they really upset you and make you quarrel. And you quarrel hard with them, in ways that, boy, you don't know if they're going to come back tomorrow the way you cuss hard. But when it comes to creating, you have to focus, you have to teach them that kind of discipline, because the art form requires that. But when you also watch how they gel and merge and form a team where they start looking out for each other, it's very special, eh? And one of my thing in approaching it is that, listen, it's not only about putting on a good show, but it's about holding each other accountable for the work that you're putting out there on the stage and also in your everyday work. So they had to hold each other accountable for completing their assignments, staying on task, making sure you're going to classes. That's also a part of the model that we really try to adopt. Them going home late at night as well. We all had to keep tabs on each other, making sure persons get home, making sure persons eat, if persons weren't feeling well, how we looked out for them. And also what was critical, we had special needs students involved. We had some deaf students. And so it was even more critical for us to pay attention to them, right? And so they had to learn to look out for each other. And so they formed a nice bond and camaraderie where they were looking out for each other, asking questions, ensuring that deaf students knew when we were about to start. It was good to see them learning sign language and trying to do all of these different things at once in the space. So that for me in the process was really good, and they had an excellent stage manager. I admired their commitment to the process and how they're able to work. And so I believe that the way graduation is done at Edna Manley College, I don't think it is done anywhere else like this in Jamaica. And I probably want to go out on a limb to say nowhere else in the Caribbean. Yeah, but I have no proof of that. There's no research. Don't hold me to it, but I want to say that.
Hi everybody. The grad production process, it was very challenging. It also taught me survival, because I could not go home some of the times, and it showed me that, hey, I want to do this, so let's find a way to come in. And I did that, so it taught me survival in the arts, so I'm very grateful for that. Secondly, I was so happy that the first production I did here at the school that I've always wanted to do too is a musical, because I've always wanted to do a musical, and Miss Reed, did that. So I was very happy, and then I get to sing too. So yeah, but sing. So yeah. So I met a lot of new people. I'm very I don't really like to talk to people, and my anxiety really high, but I was there and everybody was nice and warm and welcome. So I thought, yeah, Kiana as well. was very nice to talk to. Yeah. So I created bonds, especially with Damani and Christoph. Yeah, so I feel it's a good experience and I would like to do it again. Hopefully it's something nice like it was like. Yeah.
My name is David Mitchell and I'm from the School of Music. The process for the grad production, it was very good. I've learned a lot. I've learned how drama school like interpret things, how they look apart, like they look past what the eyes can see. So instead of just thinking about something and doing it, you like look up the history, you know where it's coming from, you know where it's originated from. Well, the same thing, but yeah, it teaches you how to look past like the shell of things. It teaches you how to look in depth. Cool. So that was what I learned, and I have learned how to dictate as well, pronounce, and all of those stuff. So that's it from me.
Yeah, so it was a good production.
So the process of creating the production of, well, my involvement as a scriptwriter was pretty interesting, and if I may dare say, it was also pretty encouraging and empowering. I think Edna graduation is a wonderful exemplar of community and continuity and real sense of seeing a number of different input coming together and blended into a wonderful production, a wonderful celebration, a wonderful commemoration that manages to capture all the elements of pomp and pageantry and celebration, but had to maintain the integrity of a production that could stand by itself. And not just the graduation ceremony, but I had to look to how do I create a piece that could hang by itself as drama, with conflicts, with characters, with the protagonist and antagonist who met in a space of conflict and had to resolve the conflict, and that was entertaining, enlightening, at the same time kept true to the thematic points that were given for the graduation. So Edna at the college celebrating 45 years. The graduation as an event that should celebrate some brilliant students who have done well and who have excelled. At the same time, to present a production that beautifully captures and shares elements of our cultural tradition at the Caribbean region. So the mass characters and personalities of the Pierre Grenade and the Midnight Robber and the Jamaican traditional tea meeting character and Brookings and all these cultural retention that we're able to present in a way that became magical. On my part, I had to work under some duress and under time pressure, and Miss Reed was very angry with me at the time because she kept saying she needed a script, and the script was not really fast in coming. So I think that's one of an example of the Edna grad. That word grad, because we had to gradually grow something. We had to really, and students are doing it for grade, so it's still a graduation ceremony. So to blend the graduation and the ceremony, to blend the gradual coming together of all these parts, what we saw on stage at the end is just a brilliant example of Miss Reed's artistry and mastery, but also of the students' dedication, their dogged determination to put their heart and soul in something that at the end just beautiful. And to me it's community. We had students, we had deaf students, students, hearing students, we had drama students, dance students, music students, art management students, who were all on stage. It's a wonderful example of community, of collaboration, of creative, really creative community. And we became that for graduation. So it's a wonderful gradual growth that we can grade as excellent.